with doing it in some of the areas, and there are a few that I still need to work on. Like when it comes to like personal development with reading and stuff like that, I'm definitely doing well. When it comes to associations, my associations are positive, and I'm continuing to grow. Now, when it comes like with mental, something I really desire to do and work on is like meditation, yoga. I'm not there yet. That is definitely a desire though. So I know as I have associations that are actually doing it, it's going to help me, you know what I'm saying, be able to actually do it. But yes, ma'am. And that is definitely something that's near and dear to my heart as well.
Okay. And I agree with you on the work in progress. That's where I'm at as well in terms of all of those areas. Currently, I was working on the physical part because I had did pet detox that you can find that I believe that's also on Instagram. But I was working on that physical aspect. I'm still working on all the stuff in the social part. I'm here, so that's me working on my social area. So the spiritual, mental, it's something that's always like a work in progress with me.
Well, we'll be working together on that.
Yes. And I know that Ted just popped back on the line. So I'm going to ask you this, Ted. Are you working on any of those areas, physical, spiritual, mental, social?
Oh yeah. Sorry, my call dropped right when I was like about to like say my first word, but I'm glad to be back on. So you said the option. What were the options again?
It's physical, spiritual, mental, and social.
Right now, like what am I like? I would say honestly, I'm working on all of them because, for example, like spiritually and mentally, I'm practicing a lot of things like on my own. For example, like I know I talk about a lot of things. Like for example, like self-care. Self-care is not only just about improving yourself, but it's also something that you teach yourself to be mentally stable. And so every single day, like I'm always learning something new mentally and spiritually. I realize like for example, with all like in the outside world, like this racism, with so not only I've been religious like all my life, but also like it reminded me of like how there's gonna be like downfalls like in life and stuff. And sometimes like when I have like, and I don't mean to put like this whole religion thing on anyone if you guys aren't religious or anything, but for me, it's helped me be able to like cope through.
Slow down.
Okay.
Like it helps me cope with things versus like who am I going to run to? Like you can't always run to people or your friends about like how you're really feeling because they're not always going to like understand you. But the fact that like I have God in my life, like it's helped me spiritually to like be able to understand like this mess in this world. And so that's one thing like I continue to practice.
Okay. And I can respect that. And we all have one thing that we're strong in and other areas that we're working on. And a lot of people do go towards God or religion, I should say, for guidance. So, yeah, I can definitely understand what you're saying, point of view. And thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
And I'm going to ask you the same thing, Amanda. Is there any area that you are currently working on? Is there are you continuously working on all the areas that I mentioned, and which was physical, spiritual, mental, and social?
I definitely am always working on all of those. I definitely am probably working harder on physical and social, and then mental as well, but I'm definitely feel like I'm working on all of those all the time.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. About things that we are all working on, everything, every aspect at any given time. And just to give you guys some notes, so to renew yourself physically, you can do that by eating well, getting enough rest and relaxation, and exercising on a regular basis. In regards to spiritual, you can practice daily meditation, communicate with nature, or you can read great literature or music. In regards to the mental, you can read good literature as well. You can keep a journal of your thoughts, experience, and insights, or you can limit negative television. In regards to social, you can seek to deeply understand other people. You can join groups like the Real Girlfriends Across America, and you can make contributions to meaningful projects that improve others' lives. So that's what you can do in regards to trying to strengthen each of those areas. And so we're going to, that's actually all the 7 steps. So let's just go over the 7 that we just spoke again. So just to remind everyone, so the step number 1 was to be proactive. Step number 2 was to begin with the end in mind. That was the visualizing what you're working for. You want to, again, number 3, put first things first, so that's prioritizing. Number 4, you want to have a win-win type of thought process. You want to think win-win. Number 5, you want to seek first to understand, then to be understood. So that's the listening. You want to be actively listening and listening empathetically. Number 6 was to synergize. And number 7 was to sharpen your saw. So that was to sharpen those skills that we just went over. Now, is there anyone that had any questions or want to make any comments about anything? No comments?
Oh, this is Tawanda. I wanted to definitely comment. I love the 7 habits of highly effective people, 7 habits of success. And I just think that these have been something that I think I might have found out about them like over a decade ago, but like a couple times a year I revisit them, and I've done like sessions with different people, trainings with staff, with coworkers, with peers, because it's really, really amazing. And the thing that I always tell people, I think about 3 years ago, I started training with a group that we were working on some stuff, and I said to them in the beginning, if we do this and we stick to it, we'll get to where we need to be. And those that aren't serious or those that, are not highly effective, they won't. And people thought I was joking. And in the middle of everything we were doing, people fell off because they was not proactive. They didn't begin with the end in mind. They didn't understand what would need to be first. They didn't understand when. They didn't really understand, and they didn't have the synergy, and it wasn't sharpened in their growth and personal development. So this book is amazing. Like sometimes people can write books, and they're really a good read, but like I think you said over 2 million copies were sold. Is that what you said?
Or 15.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure, but I guess what this book is over 10 years old plus, and people are still buying it. And that's because these habits are law.
1989.
Yeah, exactly. So these are law, and anyone that follows these will be highly effective. Absolutely. And that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for sharing that as well. And I hope that everyone that was listening, our callers, I hope that you are able to get knowledge from what was shared tonight. And before we close the call, is there any announcements, Tawanda or Kat?
No,
I don't have any.
Just to follow us on Instagram, like for the Real Girlfriend 7, of course, because I'm changing it up a bit, and so. And also, like, we're getting a lot of followers, which I'm actually happy about. And so, yeah, I just want to try and increase that and have everyone check it out.
Okay, and that's great. And I want to thank Amanda, who we still have on the line, for calling in as well. So we really appreciate that, as well as Destiny, who called in earlier. Kay and Kat was on the line with us. And I just want to say thank you for everyone, again, who's out and everyone that was listening. And just make sure that you share this podcast with everyone that you know, especially with all the women that you know. And like Kat said, make sure you follow us on Instagram. And make sure to visit our website at realgirlfriends.org, which is being updated now. And tomorrow I will be hosting again, and I will be discussing Would You Marry for Money? And thank you again for everyone that tuned in, and have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
wonderful
Thank
night.
you.